We got Monya at the Carrier Con. Look at, so she even got a little Kronk on her shoulder. An angel Kronk and a devil Kronk. It's so fucking perfect. It's so fucking perfect, man. Very cute. Not in the company. With the Phase Connect backdrop. Truly part of the illegal gen. Jesus Christ. But it's very, very cute. It's very, I think this is like the first time I've seen someone cosplaying me too. So that's really fucking exciting. That's exciting. First delivered this. That's true. That's true. It's technically second, but the first one I paid to do it. So I don't know if that one counts. the first one I paid to do it. Brazilian politician Fabiana Bolsonaro performs blackface to show trans people that putting dark foundation on her face doesn't make her black, just like changing your body doesn't make you a different gender. Bold move, Cotton. The incident was reportedly a protest against the appointment of federal lawmaker Erica Hilton, a trans woman. I am painted black on the outside. I identify as black, so why can't I preside over the Anti-Racism Commission? Why can't I take care of this agenda? Because I'm not black.
Eu sendo uma pessoa branca, vivendo tudo que eu vivi como uma pessoa branca. Agora, aos 32 anos, decido.
I've decided to put on makeup to dress up as a black person. To cover myself up and let only the outside show. And here I ask, so what now? Have I become black? I felt society's contempt for a black person who should have never existed. I ask you, the one watching me, as I paint myself black, I feel firsthand the pain that a black person has felt because of racism, because of not being able to get a job. I actually have an aunt who, before the 1990s, went looking for a job, and she's black. She said that during the job interview, she did great, but then the people conducting the interview said the following: "You're great. I'd really like to hire you, but you're black. And here, we don't hire black people. So I ask you, am I black now?" I'm feeling the pain of a mother who has a son who suffers everything he suffers on the streets because he's black. Isn't that it? Isn't that the struggle? This is exactly what I want to show. There's no point in me putting on makeup. I don't know the pain you've gone through. There's no point in me pretending. I don't know the pain that black women at that federal government even felt when they slept in the stable. But right now, I'm not black. I'm painted black on the outside. Come on, I identify as black. So why can't I then chair the Commission of Racism, the Anti-Racism Commission? Why can't I advocate for this? Why can't I address this issue? And then I come and I tell you, do you know why I can't address this issue? Because I'm not black. I don't know the pain at the core that these people felt, the tears that fell. I don't know what they went through. I can only imagine. I imagine with great anger what they went through, the pain they experienced. But I don't know what they went through in my essence, because I'm not black. And here, now, taking off this makeup, I tell you, as a woman, I am a woman. It's no use dressing up as a woman, and I'm not here to offend transgender people. Quite the contrary. I'm saying I am a woman. I want to be seen as a woman. The woman of the year cannot be transgender, because this is taking away, for example, I lost my place. She is a woman, but someone took her spot to put a transgender woman as woman of the year. So what I'm saying here is that transgender people must be respected. Yes, we're seeing the biggest increase in history in the murder of transgender people. And they must be respected. I don't want any trans person to face any kind of prejudice. I don't want any trans person to be murdered for being trans, nor to be discriminated against for being trans. Want any trans person to take my place? Where is that? It's not my place to speak. I am a woman. Hear me roar. Damn, she was fucking going off. I was struggling to keep up with reading that. Holy shit. I'm not here to offend transgender people. I'm just here to point out how completely stupid your argument and ideology is. Yeah, that's a very weird thing to say after literally putting on blackface. Holy shit. The problem with TERFs is they're still radical feminists. This woman is just a leftist who disagrees with this one thing. Yeah, absolutely. Jasmine's not like you. She's black. That was not hot fire. That was very interesting from Brazil. I saw this and it says, breaking, Atlanta police say they will charge the parents of youths who carry out teen takeovers this weekend. And I had to sit here for a second and just ruminate on how far language is having to go to avoid saying just normal sentences. Youths are carrying out teen takeovers? Are you kidding? And so I was like, let's look this up and see if it's even a real thing. And unfortunately for us, March 19th, 2026, standing together. Atlanta Police Department working with other Metro Atlanta agencies to stop teen takeovers. Concern over teen takeovers has police warning children across the Metro Atlanta area not to do it. Little finger wag. The Atlanta Police Department held a Thursday briefing after a new threat of teen takeovers for this weekend started making the rounds. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez was at the briefing where police said that they were aware of plans for more teen takeovers, but they're ready and they're not alone. We're all standing together, APD Deputy Chief Jason Smith said. All public safety agencies in the metro area, we're on this together. These takeovers need to stop. Smith said the teen takeover started in December 2025 when teenagers, quote unquote, started taking over streets and damaging or destroying property, fighting, gunfire, chaos, and traffic being disrupted. Why can't we just call it riots? Why are you calling it a teen takeover instead of just riot and wanton destruction? Like, what are we doing here, man? What the fuck? Channel 2 Action News covered the incidents that have unfurled over the last few months across the metro area, from Cobb County to downtown Atlanta and beyond. In Atlanta, the most recent teen takeover happened on the Beltline. Smith said more than a dozen people ages 13 to 20 were arrested and 11 guns were recovered, including a Glock switch. That means it made a semi-automatic handgun into a fully automatic handgun, Smith said. Very, very dangerous. Then why are you calling it a teen takeover? Why are you calling it a name that just sounds like a fucking pizza party at a Dave & Buster's? What are we doing here? This is just young gang violence? Yeah, right? 20, that ain't no teen. She was only 20 years old, you sick fuck. Atlanta has a Sunday to Thursday curfew from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and Friday and Saturday from midnight to 6 a.m. That's crazy. I had no idea Atlanta had a fucking curfew. Imagine having to live somewhere with a curfew like that. That is so insane. We are ready. We are here. These takeovers are not going to happen. All of us are prepared and ready to interact with any folks who show up for these takeovers, Smith said. Ronald Applin, the police chief for Atlanta Public Schools, said the teen takeovers aren't the only problem involving youths in the Atlanta area. He's also concerned about truancy, skipping school, and how that impacts teens' futures. This guy's unironically more worried about the teens' futures than the teens themselves. This is not the time for you to ruin your future by doing something that just doesn't make sense at all, Applin said in the briefing. Many of you are at an age where if you do one thing one night, it can ruin a lot of things for you. Can it? I mean, based on the justice system we're currently living with, it just seems like you can kind of do whatever the fuck kind of crime you want if you're in a certain group of people. And teens could be here, he thought. Not with our current judicial system. Yeah, with our current judicial system, like what's the fucking consequence, bro? Applin told parents they need to watch their kids. How dare he? How dare he ask parents to have accountability and actually be parents? Understand what they're doing and not to let them lose potential futures by doing something that doesn't make sense at all. Following an earlier briefing about the Fulton County Jail's newest strategy to combat contraband and security issues, Sheriff Pat Labatt, that guy's parents must have fucking hated him, holy shit. Sheriff Pat Labatt was at the briefing to stand by his fellow law enforcement leaders. The regional law enforcement community stands as one of the foolishness that will not be tolerated. Labatt said, "Watch your children so we don't have to." Deputy Assistant Solicitor General Seth Brown said the solicitor's office was ready to increase charges and penalties for anyone arrested during teen takeovers. Is it short for Patrick Labatrick? It should be. So, a YouTube channel called Bantu City Diaries said, "We conducted an IQ test in Nigeria, Africa." And I was like, damn, that sounds like it could be interesting. I wonder how this went. And it's only like 6 minutes long. Let's see what they found out.
It's all about the IQ. They have the lowest IQ in the world. Well, what can you do with an IQ of under 60? The average IQ is 75.
I wasn't expected to be like battering rammed by statistic posting right off the bat. I'm a little shocked. I also like his houndstooth jacket.
What those who watch my channel, especially Westerners, often comment is the IQ. So we decided to go to the streets of Nigeria to conduct our own IQ test. I raised the budget and dispatched my team.
I like her hair.
Well, the findings were very disappointing.
Welcome to Bantu.
The findings were disappointing!
That Africa has the lowest IQ in the world today. On the streets of Nigeria, we have come to confirm that. We will conduct IQ tests and bring you the numbers.
You see,
okay.
There's something about black people. Whenever a white person come up with a report that's negative towards black people, they complain about racism. Well, lately, I think they hate me more than the white now. I raised the budget and dispatched my team. Well,
that's kind of crazy to say. He's just like, I think they hate me more than whites now. Oh my, poor fucking guy, dude.
The findings were very disappointing. So we conducted our own report. We're Nigerians who went to the street of Nigeria and conducted an IQ test. It was so disappointing that I had to take one myself to make sure this thing wasn't that difficult.
Oh,
and I'm
no.
not bragging here. I did pretty well. Our findings
he did pretty well.
Not deviate from the report you find on Google. Welcome to the IQ experience.
Welcome to Zombocom. He said that his study replicated what the other ones say. Phoenix DS, thank you. But Foxu, they're the future doctors and engineers in the West. Liberal politicians say so.
When you search online, you'd find studies claiming that sub-Saharan Africans have the lowest IQ in the world. I've seen this report for a long time now. However, my Western audience and the commentators often insist that IQ is the reason why Black Africa is backwards. True to form, my team did not fail. They delivered a thorough result, and we have the video evidence to prove it. IQ testing has two formats. William Stern developed the original classical formula based on Alfred Binet's work. The modern version, which no longer uses the term mental age, instead it applies statistical normalization where scores are distributed around a mean with a standard deviation. This method was influenced by the statistical work of David Wexler. I have never
he got a weird
Black
face, that
Africa
Wexler guy.
to be better than when I was going through the result. Let me explain how we conducted the test and who our candidates were. We set up to the streets of Lagos and we place our tables, computers at mall, high street and popular areas, and at random, anyone who wants to come, we offer them 1,000 naira to sit down and complete the test. In Nigeria, financial incentives are often necessary to encourage participation. It's hard to determine whether the monetary reward had a negative or positive effect on the participants, which may have invalidated the result. Nevertheless, the candidates appeared to enjoy the experience.
I like this. I like that they have like a Steven Crowder setup here. It's like the IQ test. You want to know your IQ? Come sit down, take the test in front of the Coca-Cola.
Our candidate included a mix of young and old participants, male and female, as well as A-level student. Everyone who participated was above 16. Only 3% of the participants scored 102.
Only 3% has scored above 100, while another 3% scored above 80 and 90, respectively. The majority, 26%, scored 69, followed by 20% who scored 76. Ooh, that's very interesting.
And another 3% scored over 80 and over 90, respectively. The highest group, 26%, scored 69, followed by the second highest group, 20%, scored 76. Disappointingly, 52% of participants scored below 70, accounting
That's
for
fucking wild.
Overall, the average score was 73, while the median was 69. This raises some pertinent questions. How does IQ affect a population's ability to invent, produce, develop, or run a country? Is the IQ test really useful? IQ testing can be useful, but its value depends on how and why it is utilized. Psychologists view it as one tool among many to understand cognitive abilities rather than a complete measure of intelligence. They use IQ tests to help diagnose conditions such as intellectual disability, attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, and autism spectrum disorder. In psychology and cognitive science, IQ tests help researchers study human intelligence, brain development, and learning processes. It is important to note that IQ tests do not measure all forms of intelligence. They primarily assess logical reasoning, pattern recognition, verbal ability, and working memory. In contrast, they do not evaluate creativity, emotional intelligence, social skills, or practical life skills. Additionally, various
How would it not measure practical life skills if like everything listed in the IQ statement goes into developing life skills? I'm a little confused. So basically everything important.
environmental factors such as education, nutrition, cultural background, and test anxiety can influence a person's scores. Consequently, IQ tests do not fully represent an individual's overall intelligence or potential. It is essential to highlight that this should not be a reason to mock or insult Africans. IQ is not entirely fixed. Learning, education, and life experiences can change cognitive abilities over time. Therefore, a single test may not accurately reflect a person's long-term intelligence. If you think we're wrong, if you think we missed anything, please leave them in the comment section below. And also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
That was a very interesting way of presenting that kind of information. And I'm kind of interested here. Having a high or low IQ doesn't make you any more or less intelligent. Having a go at Black Africans over IQ is in itself a display of a lack of intelligence. I don't know, I think IQ jokes are just kind of funny, regardless of who they're directed at. like the breakfast perceiving question, always amusing, always funny. The IQ conundrum: IQ tests focus on specific mental skills such as logic, pattern recognition, and memory. Yet they only scratch the surface of what it means to be truly intelligent. These tests might reveal academic strengths or highlight learning challenges, but they miss out on vital traits such as creativity, emotional awareness, and the knack for solving real-world problems. I feel like the knack for solving real-world problems is part of like logic and pattern recognition and memory. Key aspects of IQ and intelligence. What IQ measures: IQ tests usually look at how well you analyze information, recognize patterns in space, and remember things for a short time. They aim to measure your mental horsepower, not what you've learned over time. Limitations: IQ tests omit key aspects of intelligence such as creativity, emotional smarts, and the ability to tackle everyday challenges. I don't know about that, because like, I guess what exactly goes into the ability to tackle everyday challenges? Because like sometimes maybe someone's like in a fit of depression and they just don't want to shower. Maybe they're like really fucking physically ill. Like maybe they broke a leg and they're just not able to like move down 3 flights of stairs to get to their kitchen or something. I don't know. Like what? Reliability: many experts believe that boiling down the mind's complexity to a single IQ number misses the mark. Plus, these tests can sometimes echo the biases of the culture they come from. I would say if we wanted to reformat an IQ test to like add in extra things, we would have to make sure that we're adding in those extra things because they're actually vital to tallying human individuals' IQ abilities, rather than like adding in things that lower standards, similar to when the military has lowered standards to allow more women into like combat roles and shit. Like we would want it to bolster the fact of IQ being used as a measurement, not usher in like a dampening of what it means. People have accepted the premise that EQ exists alongside IQ, but there's no reliable way to test for EQ. Yeah, that's because EQ is like commie gobbledygook. Nature versus nurture. While IQ tests were once hailed as the ultimate measure of intelligence, many researchers now see intelligence as a rich tapestry that a single score cannot sum up. Nature versus nurture can be an interesting question to talk about, but it's also like there's not really like a magical way to, I guess, make everyone's nurture the same.
Spicy cat raid.
Like you can't just like give people to like the same parents and be like everyone who has these specific parents will grow up the same. Otherwise, we're gonna eventually just have robot propaganda parents. Many researchers are commie drones. Also, nurture won't raise your IQ. It can only lower it. I wouldn't say it could even like lower it necessarily, but nurture could absolutely stunt someone from achieving more than what they can. You know, if somebody is extra capable, it's kind of like the No Child Left Behind shit, right? Where like a bunch of children who would need extra help, instead of being carted off and getting extra help alone, they hold back the rest of the class in order to get that extra help in front of everyone. Yeah, I was gonna say, I just don't really think about IQ very often, I guess. Like, I know where my weaknesses lie, and I know when to say, like, yeah, I'll fucking suck at math, bro. I can't do that shit. I need someone to do that for me. Please help. Nurture can help you realize your potential. Yeah, absolutely. That's why, like, when there's a super gifted child, you want to be able to do absolutely everything you can to give that child everything they possibly could need to succeed and nurture the abilities that they found out they have super young. Holy crap, Nick Shirley says anywhere he goes, leftists stalk him, dox his location on Reddit, and push to violently run him out of town. Now he has to raise even more funds for security. The left is truly the party of violence. Welcome to where we have been the past few years. People try to dox my location live, especially a lot of times when I go to the cities now. It sucks because I'll go to a city, I'll go be out filming, and someone will take a photo. Some left-leaning activists will then take a photo and put me in a Reddit group chat. This happened to me in Baltimore, it happened last weekend in California, and they say, run Nick Shirley out. Like, beyond just, you know, shrugging and saying, oh, they've been propagandized, oh, they're brainwashed, etc. I want to know why these people are preventing Nick Shirley from investigating fraud. At least when I look at these psychopaths who try and get themselves killed by impeding ICE agents, detaining illegal immigrants who are also a criminal in an additional manner, at least I can be like, okay, if I use retard logic, these people believe that the illegals aren't actually illegal because no human can be illegal, and therefore ICE is just spiriting away innocent people who have done nothing wrong, even if they're rapists or murderers. So by their logic, I can at least understand why they're being retarded in front of ICE. I can understand that. Why are they stopping Nick Shirley from investigating fraud? It's also potentially like, if we have a group of like 20 communists, at least one of them probably has a job. So at least a handful of these people are probably paying taxes into the fraud. Why would you not want the fraud investigated? And like, I don't understand. Just cult mindset. He's white and conservative in their eyes. He deserves that treat. Is he even conservative? Other than him, like, sniffing out fraud, I don't know anything else about his politics. It's fraud, all part of the plan. They've decided that Nick is a right-wing lying propagandist. In what way? Like, a lot of the people that we saw in his California video, they weren't even, like... I have to say this like I'm a leftist. Like, they weren't even brown. So, like, leftists can't be like, oh, you're hunting minorities. Because they weren't. So it's like, what are we doing here? He seems right-wing by the virtue of his actions. Yeah, it's right-wing to not want people to enrich themselves via fraud on taxpayer money. That is wild. Does anyone have any idea how, like, fucking stupid that sounds? If there's anything that, like, everyone should come together on, it's fraud bad. Fraud bad. Like, the only thing I can even try and logic out is that the communists who are against Nick Shirley rooting out fraud don't even have any real reason that they could pose to the public for doing this, which is why we don't see anyone posting about being against Nick Shirley, really. And it's just like, if we can cause this much chaos, if we can keep stealing all this money from the right-wing rubes who continue to pay taxes, we'll be able to usher in an age of communism. And it's like, that even still doesn't make much sense, but what the fuck other reason could there possibly be? Makes sense if you assume it's tribal team sports and they've decided that he's on the other side. Fraud is only bad if it's the enemies doing it. They're doing it to try and make the world better, so it's a-okay. They're not even committing fraud to make the world better. The people committing fraud are doing it to buy mansions and cars and wristwatches. It's ridiculous. All the left-wing organizations profit from the fraud. Fuck, man. There's no rationale. It's just envy and hatred of the ugly for the beautiful. I guess. Like, it's baffling.
After last night and the constant doxing attempts and threats from people who want to attack me, largely due to politicians and leftist hate-filled rhetoric as I expose billion-dollar fraud schemes stealing from taxpayers, I've decided it's time to raise money for security costs. What happened?
Yeah, so people try to dox my location live, especially, and a lot of times when I go to these cities now, it sucks because I'll go to a city, I'll go be out filming, someone will take a photo, some activists, some left-wing activists will then take a photo, put me in a Reddit group chat. This happened to me in Baltimore. It just happened this last weekend in California, and they say run Nick Shirley out, or they'll say if you see Nick Shirley, it's on site. And so this has happened in multiple cities.
Like, again, why? He's not doing like anti-Islam protest. He's not out here like bringing out pork-filled Qurans like some other protesters. He's not doing anything that would be overtly or even troublesomely right-wing. He's looking into places committing fraud. And like, they can't even use the racism card because it's not all the same people. They tried that when it was the Somalis. But it's like, that's not our fault that all of them are committing fraud in Minnesota and fucking Maine, bro. Like, we didn't tell them to do that. It's awful that he's less safe in America trying to fight fraud than going to a foreign country dealing with a corrupt government. It's like just... It's absurd. And I've said this before when we talk about, you know, like people on the right having to get security details. It's 444. Make a wish. But I've talked about this before when we talked about like other right-wing people needing higher security constantly. And it's kind of ridiculous that if you're anywhere on the right of center, you need to have like security systems. You need to pay for security people. You need to have bodyguards when you go out in public. It's absurd. There's no one on the left, as far as content creation goes, who has to do that. And just that pure thing of people on the right have to buy all this extra security, have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on different forms of security versus leftist creators who don't have to do fucking any of that. It should be obvious who the violent ones are. But I mean, like, you're just gonna get told, oh, well, that's just because they're scared. They're little pussies. Nothing's gonna happen. They just want to pretend to be a victim. By the way, we're actually going to kill them if we ever get the chance, but they're just pretending. Not just right of center, anyone to the right of Mao Zedong. Yeah, pretty fucking much. It's so infuriating and exhausting.
Had money for security after Minnesota. That money went down to pretty much nothing. So unfortunately, I had to raise funds again to be able to have security to be able to go film these videos. To film one of these videos now, I used to be able to film these videos without security. Now it costs anywhere from, the last hospice video cost $15,000 to go film because I had to have security for 3 days to go film this video. And so it's extremely hard to go out and do that. So I asked my fans and viewers if they could help me out with those security costs.
Yeah, and they can find that information on your X page. A lot of people wonder...
It's ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous. Even Tim Pool had to get security and he's not right-wing. Yeah, everybody calls him like a far-right commentator or some shit. And it's like, he's not. Just because he says things that you disagree with doesn't make him some like fucking right-wing commentator, bro. That's why you have no pity or sympathy for their side when things go south. It's absurd. It's absurd and it's obscene. And like, even when I've tried being like, hey guys... If you're gonna talk shit about someone, you should talk shit that's actually true instead of posting fake news. It's like, I got shit on for that. So it's like, all right, fuck it. People can say whatever the fuck they want about you, whether it's true or not. Fuck me for trying to have at least, like, some semblance of principles to still extend to you. Fuck you. Die in a hole. He's been swatted like a dozen times. Essex police pause facial recognition camera use after study finds racial bias. Academics discover black people significantly more likely to be identified when compared with other ethnic groups. This is literally, we're going to accept higher rates of crime because we don't want to be called racist because our facial recognition cameras catch too many black people committing crime. Like, what are we fucking doing here? Essex police have paused the use of live facial recognition technology after a study found cameras were significantly more likely to target black people than people of other ethnicities. I don't think cameras can target people. What do they mean by this? The move to suspend the use of AI-enabled systems was revealed by the Information Commissioner's Office, the ICO, which regulates the use of the technology deployed so far by at least 13 police forces in London, South and North Wales, oh god, I want to say Leicestershire, Northamptonshire, Hampshire, Bedfordshire, Suffolk, Greater Manchester, West Yorkshire, Surrey, and Sussex. The ICO and Essex police had paused LFR deployments after identifying potential accuracy and bias risks, and warned other forces to have mitigations in place. LFR systems are either mounted to fixed locations or deployed in vans. In January, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, that's an interesting name for the British Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood announced the number of LFR vans would increase fivefold, with 50 available to every police force in England and Wales. That's funny. She was like, yes, let us get more mass surveillance. And then the cameras were getting more black criminals, I guess, than other races. And so it's now like, oh, what? Gotta backtrack. Essex commissioned University of Cambridge academics to conduct a study which involved 188 actors walking past cameras being actively deployed from marked police vans in Chelmsford. The results were published last week, and showed about half of the people on a watch list were correctly identified, and incorrect identifications were extremely rare. But the system was more likely to correctly identify men than women, and it was statistically significantly more likely to correctly identify black participants than participants from other ethnic groups. Like, what do you even say to this, man? This is just so fucking goofy. This raises questions about fairness that require continued monitoring. Really? Is that the question it's raising for you? The report concluded. One of its authors, Dr. Matt Bland, a criminologist, told The Guardian and Liberty Investigates, if you're an offender passing facial recognition cameras, which are set up as they have been in Essex, the chances of being identified as being on a police watch list are greater if you're black. To me, that warrants further investigation.
Noticing is bad. Noticing is very, very naughty.
How is this real? How am I reading this? Why does it fucking matter what their skin color is? You even admit that they're on a police watch list. That should be the whole point. I don't give a shit what their skin color is. Arrest them if they have a warrant. What are we doing? What are we doing? What is this? The UK isn't a real country. It can't hurt me. Please vote Restore Britain. Holy shit. This is something you're qualified to talk about. Your major is crim and poli-sci. So basically, the people in your field are retards and believe that everything black people do is because of racism. I have a question. If we constantly hear how discriminated against black people are, and how much, like, living in white society is oppressive to black people, wouldn't the logical conclusion be to move them out of the society that is supposedly discriminating against them? Like, right? Like, if it's just like an entire society who's incredibly racist and discriminatory and hates them, wouldn't they want to leave? Am I crazy? Like, wouldn't that be the final train of thought? No, that's even more racist. I don't understand the chutes and ladders of racism. The problem differs from the more common public concern about the technology, which is that it identifies innocent people. Well, clearly that's not the issue, yeah, right? Clearly the public concern is not actually a real concern. Last month, it emerged that police arrested a man for a burglary in a city he had never visited, 100 miles away, after retrospective face-scanning software confused him with another person of South Asian heritage. That seems like you need to fucking possibly make the AI a bit better. But how can you make the AI a bit better if you're constantly stuffing it with, like, anti-racism nonsense? Possible reasons for the latest issue with LFR include overtraining of the algorithm on the faces of black people. What did they mean by overtraining? I don't think you could possibly overtrain it, but also wouldn't that be a good thing? If you had like a billion faces of black people so that it would be more accurate when identifying someone that it found? So that it wouldn't have this issue previously stated of misidentifying someone? Wouldn't that be a better thing to reduce innocent people accidentally getting arrested? Am I taking crazy pills, bro? Experts believe it could be rectified by adjusting system settings.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
A separate study of the same technology by the government's National Physical Laboratory found black men were most likely to be correctly matched by the system, and white men least likely. But the effect was not statistically significant. I like how they word that. Black men were most likely, white men least likely. The effect was not statistically significant. So basically, it didn't fucking matter. The numbers didn't matter.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
I really don't like the experts believe it could be rectified by adjusting system settings, you know? There's gonna be like an internal quota thing on the AI cameras where it's like, oh, we've already correctly identified 10 black criminals today, but we only have 4 white criminals. And so we can't identify another black criminal until we get those white numbers up. The Home Office has said LFR cameras deployed in London from January 2024 to September 2025 led to more than 1,300 arrests of people wanted for crimes including rape, domestic abuse, burglary, and grievous bodily harm. But opponents of facial recognition technology said the latest research showed warnings about bias in LFR technology were being borne out. Yeah, I don't really care. When I get a security system, I'm going to have like top of the line AI facial recognition. I'm gonna be able to see who the fuck you are from like 50 meters away. All right, like I'm not gonna fuck around. This is like how your city stopped using cameras to help report crime out of fear the cameras could be used by ICE. Yeah, again, just really fucking stupid. Police across the country must take note of this fiasco. It's a fiasco that it's correctly identifying criminals? Said Jake Herford, the head of research and investigations at Big Brother Watch. AI surveillance that is experimental, untested, inaccurate, or potentially biased has no place on our streets. I'm so sick of these conversations, man. I don't give a single fuck what someone's skin color is. If they're a criminal, they should be dealt with the way that a criminal is dealt with. I don't give a fuck. We need to stop this nonsense. We could unironically be colonizing Mars, but we're too busy talking about how skin color is registered too much when it comes to crime. Make it stop! Essex police said, based on the fact there was potential bias, the force decided to pause deployments while we worked with the algorithm software provider to review the results and seek to update the software. We then sought further academic assessment. As a result of this work, we've revised our policies and procedures and are now confident that we can start deploying this important technology as part of policing operations to trace and arrest wanted criminals. We will continue to monitor all results to ensure there's no risk of bias against any one section of the community. They're going to redeploy these cameras and they're going to just start arresting people who have made silly tweets. And they're going to be like, rape is up 274%, but mean tweets are down 64%. We're winning. At this unsettling time, shit is hilarious. This is just like the begging for money portion, you know? Phoenix DS, thank you. Time to have the criminals breaking the moon rocks or mining the precious metals in the asteroid belt. Yeah, why can't we do that? Just send the criminals to outer space, man. They can mine the asteroid iron for us. So this person, Dr. Jessica Taylor said, this is now the third time I've covered a story where a woman has been put on antipsychotic medication for saying that someone was living in her house. And each time, the woman was right. Women for some reason, just not taken seriously when it comes to things like this. I've had this experience when it comes to pain. I've unironically had a doctor tell me while I'm in excruciating pain, be like, are you sure that it's not a hallucination? Like, maybe you should check yourself into a mental health hospital, and maybe they could help you, because clearly it's not real pain. Like, doctors just do not give a fuck if you're a woman, man. Why do we only silence the rational women and listen to the psychos? Great fucking question. Each time a man was eventually arrested and found to be living in her loft. 1 case in Australia, 2 cases in the UK. This is, of course, absolutely atrocious, but also serves to prove that there is zero science to a psychiatric disorder diagnosis. This young woman was put on heavy antipsychotics that made her feel like a zombie for trying to report that someone was living in her loft. What scientific or clinical process led to the diagnosis that she was psychotic and delusional? Nothing. What rationale was there for the antipsychotics? Nothing. In cases like this, women are disproportionately represented. Women try to report abuse, violence, concerns, and are still being chalked up as mad with no evidence whatsoever. I've been working really hard behind the scenes for months now to build something that can step in when this kind of thing happens, and I will explain more soon. There has to be a way to stop this from happening. Women like Chloe are everywhere in every country being gaslit and medicated for no reason when they try to report concerns. Pathologization is rife and it must end. Psychiatric diagnosis and medication has no basis in science. She deserves compensation and to have all of this struck from her medical record immediately. And I wanted to look this up because I was like, I need to know more about this because this sounds fucking wild. And this is where the word frogging came up. And there was a movie about like the frogging trend, question mark, I guess that's what I'll call it. And in the movie, it's like a chick who likes to go to people's houses while they're not home and just like live in their home and be like, oh, tee-hee, I'm living like these people would have. Oh my God, they're so rich and they have so nice things. But then she like brings a guy she has a crush on with her, and wow, surprise, surprise, that guy is a murderous psychopath. And so he starts killing people in the houses that they're frogging in. They said I was crazy and put me on antipsychotics, and then police found a man in my loft. A young mum from Kent says she was put on antipsychotic medication and dismissed as crazy after insisting someone was living above her flat, only for police to discover she was right. Imagine all of those people in New York who had the Jew tunnels underneath their houses being told they're crazy for years, man. Frogging is the act of secretly living in another person's home without their knowledge or permission. Chloe, 31, was living in a new build block of flats in Gravesend with her 2-year-old daughter when she noticed that a hatch to the loft in her ceiling kept being left open. I thought it was strange, but didn't think anything of it, she told LBC. The spacious loft covered the whole of the flats on the top floor. Later that evening, she was watching television when she thought, there's someone there, they're looking at me. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Bro, I would have pissed all over the floor if I looked up to like one of those attic pull down hatches and it was slightly open with like eyes peeking out. I'd be like, ain't no way, I'm calling a priest and then I'm calling the cops. Like, holy fuck. But also, that seems like a grave security issue, right? The spacious loft covered the whole of the flats on the top floor. If that means that like every individual flat, all of the like loft was connected between all of them, then like anyone who rents any of those and any of their guests that they have over can go to another apartment by just going through the loft. That seems like a grave security concern. It's also a fire issue. Chloe said she rang a friend who lived in the flat below who reassured her that there was no one there. How? You're literally below her. How the fuck would you know? But later that same night when Chloe couldn't sleep, she heard footsteps above her coming from the loft. Whenever I hear weird sounds above me from the Bunker Bro attic, I get like really fucking nervous. Because even though it's not a person, it's gotta be some kind of a rat, bro. Chloe said she called everyone, but they talked her down. They told her it was voices in her head and that she was crazy. No one would believe me, she said, but I don't blame the people in my life then. I feel like this is another indictment of how poor at communication people are. You see, if I was telling my friends and they were just like, Kirsche, you're crazy, you're just paranoid, like there's nothing there. And it's like, I've seen the eyeballs, man. They're like, no, Kirsche, you're crazy. And I'd be like, okay, you're a man. You go up to the loft and you scope things out, all right? Like, if I have you up there, then you can tell me if I'm crazy or not for once, right? Chloe said she was known to mental health services at the time and was dealing with issues such as anxiety and PTSD. I'm a different person now, but back then I was a little bit wild, she admitted. She also explained that she had a condition that made her hear different environments, such as swimming pools or pubs. I'm starting to understand why no one believed this woman specifically. She had a condition that made her hear swimming pools and pubs? Is this like psycho-specific schizophrenia? Like, what the heck? Hearing crowd white noises, that's so weird. She got nice leggings, though. I like those. There's like cute little bows on them. I hate those shoes, though. I hate those shoes. The following day, Chloe spoke to her next door neighbor who lived in the other top floor flat and asked him if he had heard any noise coming from the loft. He told her he hadn't and played her concerns down. He said he didn't hear anything and said it wasn't true. As the problems continued, Chloe said she was scared to go home and ended up frequently staying with friends because she did not want to be there. Despite bringing it up every day, her friends kept shutting her down. And none of them went there? Are you kidding me? She wasn't just like, hey, how about I have a friend stay in my flat and then they can hear the noises. And then when they hear the noises, we can call the cops. What is this? What is happening? Why does she just believe everyone without asking them to like come and hear for themselves? I didn't blame the people in my life because I was crazy at this point. After she had gone on about it for so long, her friends intervened and formed an alliance. It got to the point where they thought I was hallucinating or having a psychotic episode. They sat me down and told me I need to see a doctor. If I was hearing strange noises coming from my attic and my friends wouldn't believe me, and then my friend sat me down and said that I need to see a doctor instead of saying, let's spend a few nights at your house. Like, I feel like everyone here is just piss poor at any kind of communication. Why would they suggest a doctor instead of staying at her house to see if she's serious? I don't understand. Why didn't she just set up a camera? She could have also done that. There's so many things that could have been done before being like, maybe you should go to a mental health institution. To be fair, you don't have auditory hallucinations. She did. Like, she had a history of imagining things that didn't exist. Yeah, she has a history of it. But if she's like absolutely like acting different and being like, this is real, I know it. The friends could literally just be like, we're going to spend a few nights at your house. If we don't hear anything, you know it's not real. Like, she could even ask them to do it. They don't even have to offer. It just seems like such a normal thing to do. I started thinking in my head, maybe it's true. Maybe I do need to see a doctor. When I saw the doctor, I told them, I think someone's in the loft and that there are people coming in and out of my house. I truly believed it. Chloe was then put on quetiapine, an antipsychotic drug used to treat mental health conditions such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and major depressive disorders. I mean, if she was hearing like swimming pools and pubs, she might have needed a schizophrenia medication, to be fair. Chloe said the super strong medication made her feel like a zombie and completely wiped her. It was like I was not a real person. I didn't care about anything. I'd sit on my sofa, and if my friend rang me, I would just stare at the phone. She added the medicine made her feel so drowsy, she almost lost her job at Next. I don't even know what that is. After about 2 months on the medication, Chloe said she was proved right when a man opened the latch blatantly in front of her eyes. He was staring at me and I ran downstairs to my friend screaming for help. See, once again, why didn't any of the friends go over? Why did nobody think to check the loft? What is happening? I was shouting, he's in my flat, he's coming. She was like, calm down, but I'd had enough. I'd seen him, I'm on antipsychotics, and I'm still seeing it. If it was in my head, then why am I still seeing it? Chloe said she called the police, who took her accusations at face value. She said 5 people from different flats were watching her, thinking Chloe's having a breakdown again. Police went into the loft and discovered that a man had indeed been living there. Officers brought him down and found lots of bags and backpacks in the loft. Anyone who was trying to argue with me about maybe the friends did check it and they just didn't say it in the article. Fuck you! Get fucked, retards! There are bags and backpacks in there. If the friends had gone up, they would have seen this shit. The others were like, it's actually true. The man was led away in handcuffs, but other than that, Chloe had no follow-up. At the time, I was just happy that I was right. I was very smug. I would probably just get rid of all of those friends. Those are not friends. It turned out her next door neighbor knew the man was up there and that it was his homeless friend. Chloe said she felt gaslit by the neighbor. What a piece of shit. People who were saying they were positioning this article as a man versus woman thing also get fucked. Holy shit. So much vindication in one article. That's crazy. What a gaslighting little fucking bitch. Yeah, put him in jail too. What the fuck? That is insane. Turned out her next door neighbor knew the man was up there and that it was his homeless friend. Chloe said she felt gaslit by the neighbor. He was talking down everyone, saying he didn't hear anything, she went on. But he knew there was someone there. He was helping him, giving him food, and letting him use his bathroom. She went on to say it was such a weird time in her life, but she did wish someone had checked the loft for her. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, why didn't you ask them to check the loft? Ooh, why didn't they offer to check the loft? Ooh, why are you all so retarded? I'm gonna come. I felt like Jean Slater, the fictional character from EastEnders who suffered bipolar disorder. Chloe also believes her gender influenced the way she was treated in the situation. Absolutely! Women are just not taken seriously when it comes to shit like this. Why? I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe there's like a pattern of hysteria from like years bygone. I don't know, but it's kind of annoying. You're enjoying the vindication maybe a tad too much. I was like hip thrusting in my chair. You don't even know, bro. You don't even know. The neighbor wasn't gonna check. Yeah, but she had friends. She doesn't have to rely on the shitty fucking neighbor who was lying. What if all the friends were in on it? What if they're just like, this fucking retard, we can gaslight her about anything. Oh my god. Still want to know why he was opening her doors and stuff to her place when the other guy was the one helping him out? Probably stealing, bro. Oh my god. Chloe also believes her gender influenced the way she was treated in the situation. The rest of the floor I was on were men, and I was a 20-year-old single mom at the time. Oh yeah, I forgot she had a fucking toddler. She added she felt targeted by the neighbor who knew there was someone living up there. He knew full well. I mean, this is also kind of a thing. I wouldn't put the blame specifically on dudes, because like, it's been a stereotype for ages that like, if you're a woman and you go to a car mechanic, they're just gonna take advantage of you. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about 9 times out of 10. The women who are interested in like mechanics and fixing cars and shit are a very small minority. It's a stereotype. The car mechanics just take advantage of women. And so if this guy was like, oh yeah, you could just live up there. We got some dumb bitch as a neighbor who already has hallucinations. No one's going to believe her if she hears you. When asked if she ever received an apology from her friends, Chloe said instead they laugh about it now. She also still lives in Gravesend, but in a different home. Can I just add that it's really fucking funny that all of this happened in a town called Gravesend? That's like a cherry on top. Be real NPC horror movie. Phoenix DS, thank you. Her friends sounded like trash, not really good friends. They didn't have her back, didn't care about her child in that situation too. The entire time I was freaking out about this, I completely forgot that she had a child. That makes it even worse that nobody was like, yeah, I'll check the attic for you. Her friends are worthless. Yeah, if a friend isn't willing to like stand up for you or try and help you in a time of need, that's not a fucking friend, bro. A spokesperson from Moat Housing told LBC the safety of our customers is very important to us, as it was at the time of the incident 9 years ago. I just don't believe you. Thanks to reports from customers living in the building, we were able to work with the police to investigate the incident, leading to an arrest. We secured the loft space shortly afterwards and had no further reports of frogging. This highlights the importance of staying vigilant, and we encourage customers to report concerns to us immediately so we can work with the right agencies to address them. Wait, hold on. I gotta fucking hip thrust a bit more, chat, because also I accidentally fucking called it. When I read the beginning of the article and said the spacious loft covered the whole of the flats on the top floor, my ass was like, isn't that a security issue? Doesn't that mean that someone could like enter the loft from a neighbor's house and then just like stay up there forever? That's exactly what fucking happened! I strike again. My autism cannot be beat. Premium pattern recognition. Breed me so your children will have it too. And then the guy who gaslit the poor woman rode off into the sunset. What the fuck? Yeah, right? You're also taking a small victory lap. You knew someone was in on it and said nothing? Yeah, man. Holy fuck. Everyone in this article is a fucking, like, low IQ retard. But this woman is mega vindicated, even if she's low IQ.